Hello.
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 Hi guys, welcome back.
Good morning. Well, actually, that's what we were talking about last week, weren't we? So last week we were talking about the woman at the well and about how Jesus gives us the everlasting life, and we constantly fill up our living water. It's a bit of a magic trick too.
We definitely did.
Yeah. So I don't know what we're doing.
Well, what are we doing this week?
This week we're going to be learning about disciples, and most importantly, Jesus' disciples. How many disciples were there? How many do you think?
10.
10.
I'm going to say a dozen.
12. Ding, ding, ding! There were 12 disciples. We're going to show you to them now. Matthew, Bartholomew, Judas, Thaddeus, John, Peter, James, Thomas, Andrew, Simon, James, Philip.
We're going to read from the Bible today, and we're going to read about how Jesus chose his disciples, and it's found in Matthew and Mark and Luke. So listen with me while I read. Jesus began to tell people about God. He knew he had a lot of work to do, and so he went to find some helpers. As Jesus was walking along the seashore, he saw some fishermen. Jesus called to them, "Come, follow me. I will make you fishers of people." Right away they left their boats and followed Jesus. Their names were Peter, Andrew, James, and John. Later, Jesus met a tax collector named Matthew. Matthew's job was to collect the tax money from the people and give it to the king. Matthew also gave up his job to follow Jesus. Jesus chose some more people. Their names were Philip, Bartholomew, Thomas, and another man named James. Thaddeus, Simon, and Judas joined them too. Jesus now had 12 new followers. He called them his disciples. Jesus taught them about God's love.
When Jesus first chose his disciples, he said something, what was it? I will make you fishers of men, fishers of men, fishers of men. I will make you fishers of men if you follow me. That's what Jesus said. When Jesus said fishers of men, what could that mean? Well, he was talking about bringing them into the net, bringing loads of people into the net. What's the net? The kingdom of heaven. Jesus was saying, I will make you fishers of men. So they were going out and bringing people into the kingdom of heaven. Now, these disciples, they weren't like the priests. They weren't like the pretty perfect people. They weren't the kings and queens. They were like pretty low people. So there was one of them who was collecting money from people. Now back then, people didn't want to give away their money. And there were others who were just fishermen. And fishermen, they weren't very special, okay? So it doesn't matter where we've come from or where we've gone, because God wants us. He wants to use us to get people into his kingdom. And you know what, kids? We might think that we're a little bit too young to tell anyone about Jesus, but we still can do it, because even if we're young, God is going to use us. And I want you guys to be fishers of men. Fishers of men, fishers of men. I will make you fishers of men if you follow me.
I've got a certain fishy story for you that proves that I am a better fisherman than some certain pastors out there. Ross. So this one time, and I warn you, it is a fishing story. This one time, Xavier and I went fishing, and I'm not really that keen of a fisherman, but we're out there fishing at the causeway, and I'm sort of getting rid of the bait as quick as I can so I can sort of get away because I'm getting eaten by mozzies, getting a bit cold. Anyway, as I'm throwing the bait out, we're getting all these seagulls coming in. And I cast my line, and in the middle of the cast, the bait's in the middle of the air, and this seagull comes along and eats the bait while it's in midair. This poor seagull is now got a fishing line stuck on it, and now it's flapping around, and its poor bird's in a lot of trouble, and it hits the water, and it's getting all a bit tangled up. Anyway, it starts to fly off again. My fishing line is still attached to this bird, it's flying away. And do you guess what happens? A hawk comes down and grabs the seagull. So right now, I've got 2 birds, no fish, but 2 birds. And it goes off, and I have to cut the line. I have to let it go. It's just gone. So that's my fishing story. Even though I caught no fish, I got 2 birds on 1 line. That proves I'm a better fisherman than certain pastors. Well, children, that was a fantastic story, and it's great that we are able to become God's disciples. So let's bow our head in prayer, and let's give Him thanks. Dear God, thank you that you do look after us, and that we are part of your family, and that you give us the opportunities to be the disciples for your word, and to be the Christians, that we're able to talk about your love, talk about your forgiveness. We do thank you that we can be called into your family, no matter where we're from and what we've done, and no matter how old we are too, God, that we know that you call us to be fishers of men, Lord, and that you do call your disciples. We pray that you look after us in these coming weeks, and we look forward to seeing each other in person in the coming weeks as well. In your name, amen. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Wow, I'm going to go fishing. See ya.
Me too. Bye.
I'm going to go wading. So, I went fishing, and I waited, and I waited, and then I finally got something. And these lovely people, they wrapped it up, oh, they made it look so yum, and then they gave it to me. So I've got dinner for tonight.